Aliens laughed at our engines, until they saw the oxygen tanks the docking bay of Intergalactic Trade Station Nexus. 7 hummed with the elegant whisper of quantum drives and the crystalline chime of lightspeed engines. Ships from across the galaxy glided in with silent grace, their hulls gleaming with exotic alloys and energy fields that bent light itself. Then came the Iron Thunder. Captain Sarah Chen's cargo vessel announced its arrival with a thunderous roar that shook the station's outer hull. Black smoke billowed from chemical thrusters as the battered ship lurched into position, its hull scarred from countless journeys through hostile space. The docking computers registered excessive noise levels, atmospheric contamination, and what they classified as primitive combustion signatures. In the station's observation deck, Ambassador Vextar of the Zephyrian Collective watched through 8 compound eyes as the human ship finally came to rest. His crystalline counterpart, Engineer Lumina, generated a harmonic frequency that translated to disgust. "How did such a species even reach the stars?" she chimed, her translucent form flickering with disdain. "Stone Age technology," Vextar clicked, his mandibles expressing amusement. "Chemical combustion? My spawn learned more advanced propulsion in their first molt cycle." Other alien dignitaries gathered around the viewport, pointing at the smoking human vessel. The ethereal collective's representative phased through the wall, leaving trails of energy that spelled out mocking symbols. Even the usually stoic metallic union delegates generated harsh electronic laughter through their vocal processors. Captain Chin stepped off her ship, wearing a simple blue uniform, her dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. She carried no ceremonial weapons, wore no status symbols, and her only visible technology was a basic communication device clipped to her collar. Behind her, her crew of 12 humans emerged, each carrying standard oxygen tanks and tool kits. "Welcome to Nexus 7, Vextar announced, his voice dripping with condescension. "We're surprised your vessel made it this far." Sarah smiled calmly. "The Iron Thunder has been to places your ships couldn't dream of reaching." Lumina's form brightened with what passed for laughter among her species. "Your engines literally explode to create movement. How inefficient. How dangerous." "Those oxygen tanks," added a metallic union delegate, his voice synthesized through multiple speakers. "Are they your only life support? One breach and you're dead." Sarah's smile never wavered. "Those tanks serve multiple purposes. You might be surprised what we can accomplish with simple chemistry." The aliens exchanged glances, their various forms of communication, creating a symphony of mockery. They had mastered faster-than-light travel, manipulated dark matter, and harnessed the energy of dying stars. These humans, with their crude explosions and metal cylinders, were clearly the galaxy's most primitive species. That changed when the energy plague HIT.IT started as a subtle fluctuation in the station's power grid. Then the quantum drives began failing, their exotic matter containment fields collapsing one by one. Lightspeed engines went dark as their crystalline matrices cracked. The ethereal collective ships simply vanished back to their home dimension, leaving their representatives stranded. Within an hour, every advanced propulsion system on the station was dead, emergency power flickered and died. Life support systems failed. The artificial gravity began fluctuating wildly. In the growing darkness, alien voices rose in panic, their various languages creating a cacophony of fear. Only one ship remained fully operational, the Iron Thunder. Captain Chen's voice cut through the chaos over the emergency communications. "This is Captain Chen to all stranded vessels. We're initiating emergency evacuation procedures. The Iron Thunder is equipped for extended rescue operations." "How?" Vextar's compound eyes wide with desperation. "Your primitive technology should have failed first." Sarah's laugh was warm despite the circumstances. "That's the beauty of primitive technology. Chemical engines don't need computer guidance, quantum fields, or exotic matter. They just need fuel and oxygen, and we've got plenty of both." The crew of the Iron Thunder worked with practiced efficiency. They sealed their ship's hull, switched to internal oxygen recycling, and began rescue operations. The chemical thrusters roared to life, pushing the vessel through the station's failing artificial atmosphere toward the first stranded ship. "How are you navigating without sensors?" Lumina asked, her crystalline form flickering weakly in the emergency lighting. "Visual navigation, manual controls, and good old-fashioned instinct," replied Chen's pilot, Marcus Rivera, his hands steady on mechanical controls that required no computer assistance. "We've been flying by the seat of our pants for centuries." The evacuation took 18 hours. Trip after trip, the Iron Thunder ferried survivors to the emergency shelters on the station's lower levels. When the chemical fuel ran low, Sarah's engineer, Elena Volkov, cracked open the oxygen tanks and fed pure O2 directly into the combustion chambers. "You're burning your life support," Vextar exclaimed as he watched the procedure. "We've got backups," Elena grinned, pointing to her crew's personal oxygen tanks. "And if those fail, we can hold our breath longer than you think." The Iron Thunder's engines screamed louder than ever as pure oxygen supercharged the combustion process. The ship moved through the energy plague like a moth through flame, its simple systems unaffected by the exotic interference that had crippled every other vessel. When the crisis finally passed, traced to an experimental quantum weapon that had malfunctioned in a nearby system, the aliens gathered in the restored conference hall. The advanced ships were slowly coming back online, their sophisticated systems rebooting one by one. Ambassador Vextar approached Captain Chun, his 8 eyes showing what passed for respect among his species. "Your technology, it's not primitive, it's reliable." "It's more than that," added Engineer Lumina, her form glowing with newfound appreciation. "It's adaptable, independent. It doesn't require perfect conditions to function." Sarah nodded, accepting a mug of coffee from her crew. "That's the human way. We don't build things that only work when everything goes right. We build things that work when everything goes wrong." The Metallic Union delegate approached with mechanical precision. "We wish to establish formal trade agreements. Your species has proven valuable, and we'd like to learn about your backup systems," added the ethereal representative, his form shimmering with curiosity. "This concept of redundancy is fascinating." Captain Chen looked around the conference hall, seeing aliens who had moved from mockery to respect in less than a day. "You're welcome to study our methods. But remember, the real secret isn't in our technology. It's in our philosophy. We prepare for the worst and hope for the best." As the Iron Thunder prepared for departure, its engines warming up with their familiar roar, the other ships maintained respectful distances. What they had once seen as primitive noise, they now understood as the sound of reliability. The black smoke that had once disgusted them now represented the independence of a species that could thrive anywhere under any conditions. Sarah Chun stood on her bridge, watching the stars through reinforced glass rather than holographic displays. Behind her, her crew prepared for the next journey using manual controls, chemical sensors, and the kind of redundant systems that had kept humanity alive since they first looked up at the night sky. "Where to next, Captain?" asked Marcus, his hands already on the throttle controls. "Wherever the galaxy needs us," she replied, smiling as the Iron Thunder's engines lit up the darkness. "And we'll get there the human way." The ship departed with its characteristic roar, leaving behind a station full of aliens who had learned a valuable lesson. Sometimes the oldest solutions are the best ones, and sometimes the loudest engines belong to the most dependable ships in the galaxy.